This is 133 The Darkness, and this is a deck tech for my mono black Infect. It's the project that I'm working on mainly after my pod deck. It's still very rough around the edges, to say the very least. But it's held up. It's held its own pretty nice against the playtesting deck. But I thought I'd post it, see what the viewers thought about it. If you guys had any suggestions, and just remember, it is very rough, and a lot of things are actually in the process of trying to be replaced. So please bear with the crappiness. I'm running 4 Plague Mirrors. Probably the better of the mirrors for this, just because they do have Infect, and producing the mana does help a little bit. Because I don't run quite as many lands as my other deck. 4 Plague Singers, these guys are great. 2 drop 1/1s. I mean, if you have something turn 2 that is dealing 2 to me, with Infect, this guy is able to keep up with that. So being a 1/1 doesn't hurt too bad. Necropedes, usually I just use these guys as, I guess, blockers, because people usually don't attack much, especially early game, because you can put the counter on one of their creatures and hopefully kill it. And I mean, even 2, 3, sometimes even 4 drops, people have actually held off attacking because of this guy. I mean, you block, put the counter on him, he dies, put another counter on him, or there's a couple proliferate engines in here. So even just getting that 1 counter on there is pretty deadly. I'm running 4 Ichor Rats. They are pretty temporary. They're more than likely going to be replaced by Crusaders. These guys are good because it just, again, it puts that 1 poison on counter on there. And once it's on there, once that 1 is on there, the proliferate engines and, between everything else, it starts tallying up really quick after that first one. Whispering Spectre, I am trying to get 2 more of those to play. They've been great, the 3, and I mean, especially with the card disruption, especially for like a control deck I was testing it on, I made him discard everything. It was pretty great. And you give that thing, or the Plague Stinger, Lash Right, which I'm working on finding 1 more of. Anything in the deck becomes a serious threat. I do run 3 Hand of the Praetors. This is pretty sick, especially with all the cheaper drops. It makes, them 2/2s, and especially when I play them, I can give the player, my opponent, a poison counter, which helps a lot. Then, one of the coolest cards, Skittles, as people apparently are calling him. I usually wait till turn 6, actually, or, yeah, turn 6, maybe turn 5 to play him, depending if I have what Plague Mirrors are out. Usually, I make sure that I have 5 to play him and then a swamp left over, so whenever I have that 6 lands, he's amazing, because you tap the 5, keep the swamp up, play him, tap 1, swing for 4 poison counters. If I have these guys, there was one point where I had him in hand, I had 2 Praetors on the field, and that's it. He had already had 4 poison counters through the whole thing. They were tapped out. I drew top deck the sixth land I needed, played him, gave him haste, swung in for 6 poison, which wasn't even really needed because they got the 2 from there. So, overkill poison. And then in every black deck you have the removal and hand disruption. So 1 virulent wound. I am going to try and find 3 more, just because this has been proving to be a great turn 1 drop. The deck doesn't have a lot of those outside of this and another equipment that I have. But again, this puts that 1 poison counter on there, which makes the rest of them easy. I'm running 3 Gets Verdict. Protection has been probably one of the major issues with this deck. Protection. The Mirrodin Crusader is very popular now. Yeah, Dungrove Elder, for more other ways of dealing with him. But Hexproof and Protection have been a pain. So the fact that target player sacrifices a creature and, they lose 1 life, yeah, that's great. But this has been very helpful. 2 Distress is 3, sorry. I don't know why I said 2. It's late, I apologize. Good hand disruption, peek out their hand, see what they're playing. These usually help. They usually get subbed. 1 usually will get subbed out. 1, maybe 2, depending on what I'm playing. Game 2, that way I can get some extra beats in. Kind of already be working on a side deck type strategy. So those have been pretty helpful. 3 Go for the Throats. Usually I'm actually running 2 Go for the Throats and then 1 Doomblade, and usually I sub them out for whatever more or less for these. So if I need another Go for the Throat, that comes out. If I need Doomblade, those come in, and if I need 2 and 2, they come in. So, but I usually run 3, because usually that gets rid of the major blockers. I just forgot to switch one of them out for the Doomblade. But I'm running 1 Dismember. It's great. I've baited people in, leaving 1 mana up, tapping that 1, and even paying the life, and boom, the 5. Or even because it's the mono black, paying that 2 Phyrexian really doesn't. It's not as bad. So that's been helpful. So that's the removal package. I'm running 2 really cool Contagion Clash. Those have been helpful. The Proliferate engine's been really nice. The 2 Lash Rights, I'm looking for the 3rd one, just because I am running 3 Inkmoth Nexus, 2 of them, thanks to give a shout out to H Triumph. You made this deck possible. But these have been pretty nice, giving them the Lash Right, or even the other equipment, which Silvark Lifestaff. I prefer them over swords, just because the 1 equip, 1 play, 1 equip, and +1, +0 is not great, but whenever the creature dies, I gain that 3 life, and usually that 3 life puts me that much ahead. And even given that to people, don't want to deal with them as much, because it's pretty much you trying to get 20 life of mine down before I give you 10 poison counters. So the fact that you dealing with my creatures gives me that life back, makes it kind of hard to deal with, and they stick around. And so in turn 1, drop 1 of these, turn 2, drop the Plague Stinger, turn 3, equip it, and swing for 2 rather than the 1. That's been pretty helpful, and people have tried to deal with them, and I wind up just gaining the life, and the life puts me that much ahead between the removal and just the way it generates the poison counters. Just that 3 life can put me that much further ahead. So finally, the lane base. is 19 swamps. It's pretty low. I'm thinking about maybe subbing one more in. I'm not planning on playing any more ink mods. Apologize, it's very late here. But the 19 has been working pretty good. Surprisingly, haven't got mana screwed for, 22 lands. I don't get that much mana screwed. So, please comment, tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you have any suggestions. This deck, I'll probably, once done, I'm going to probably start playing it more, just because it's very fun, and honestly, I love the bod deck, but I've been playing it for a long time now. It pretty much hasn't really changed since New Phyrexia came out, I'd say. Aside from losing things. So, this, I can't really say this is brand spanking new, because I don't think any of these cards are from the new set, but the fact that I haven't played it makes it, that much more alluring. I am going to be working also, I'll explain that in the update video tomorrow. Again, it is extremely late here. I believe it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So, I'll wrap this one up. Again, please comment, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me know what you guys think.